Okay. The reason I'm telling you this is because the middle is still there. That what you're looking at is the center part right here. Before the front and back was put on. That was the entire courthouse. It was finished in
middle section.
that middle section. It was finished in 1894. The first one burned. They built it in 1884, 83, and 84. It was wood, okay, but it burned, and they started building on this in 1881, and they finished in 1884.
90.
Okay. Now, where
91 and 94.
91 to 94 is when they were building on this building.
Right.
Finished it about 1894.
There you go.
Okay. Did I say it wrong?
You said 81 and 84.
94. Now, the front back was not put here until 1929. So what I want us to do, this was built in 1950. The annex was built in 1950. The rock building next to it is Dr. Bond's doctor's office.
Say that again, please.
1929, when they brought electricity to Double Spring. But they had 2 or 3 telephone systems previous to that. This is Doc Buzz, the old doctor's office right here. In 1907, 1908, the Winston County Commission gave him enough money to go to school on and become a doctor. Was it William Riley?
I think so.
Telling Diane not to fall.
Don't fall, Diane.
That's sort of back up and make the picture.
Oh, wait a second. I'm going to show you this picture first. About where you're taking the picture at right now? This picture was taken right here. At that time, this was the city hall. This building right here. The other buildings came out, and all I had was a sidewalk. About the side of the sidewalk there. The first building is the Battles Hotel, which also had grocery stores in it later, and other businesses. Ended up, the last thing that's probably in it was Hammond Fraser's pool room. Okay, and next door to it was Travis Crittner's building before he moved up to the brick building up here. And in there was Daddy started a barber shop in there, and Henderson was in working for him. When he died, Henderson kept the barber shop for, what, the 60s to 80s? Anyhow, probably the 80s. Okay, the next one was Sylvester Crittner's store. That was one of the major stores in town, and he moved down to make the Piggly Wiggly. Okay.
And now, Darryl.
Yes, sir.
Tell me where each building is now, where those that you was telling me were.
Okay, that's what I want to get a little bit closer. Okay, let me explain this building. They have put a skin over the building that's under here. The building that's under here coming about to where the windows are, maybe a little bit further over. First was a Tennessee Valley Bank that failed during the Depression. Okay, later on they put the post office there. And it stayed there a long, long time. So I want to tell you what's at the corner. In the center was a dry goods store. At the end, at that time, and going on around, was the carpenter store. And then on around past it was the kids store that's on the back side of it. So let's just walk a little bit further, and I'm going to tell PJ what he wants to know. Okay, the Battles Hotel came to about, but now remember, it's out here, and the sidewalk is a sidewalk. You see what I'm saying? So the building came off of the cover covered the sidewalk. It covered the sidewalk right here. So the building started right here, and it came over to about right here. And they had a walkway that went up there right here. And they had a restaurant. They had a restaurant Battles Hotel. Then later on, it became a store. Davis Butler had a store, a very successful store there, and his wife became postmaster of the post office. Okay, now here's another picture coming, looking at straight on of the Battles Hotel that had an RC sign on it. Then the next part, a third of it, you might say, was the Travis Crittenden store where they also put the barber shop. Later on, he moved up here to the brick building in '48. And then Sylvester Crittenden, in about 59, 58, 57, he built a Piggly Wiggly, and this store was empty. And then the rock building you see there was there. Of course, that other's added on to it. That's George Lester's fire shop now. The Baileys had a store in there. Now, under this is a stone building. This is just cosmetic. Okay, about right here where the step-off was, started in Mr. Phillips' store. Mr. Phillips' store probably went to about right here. Mr. Phillips was a successful dry goods store, and his sons were young guys, and they were smart, not smart addicts, they were just nice people, and they all got jobs, and he was sitting here with the store, he wanting to quit, and Ossie Overton was working for Mr. Sylvester Crittenden. And Ossie came over, he collared at Ossie, come over here. And he said, Ossie, I want you to buy my store. Ossie said, I ain't no way in the world I can buy your store, Mr. Phillips. I just live from week to week. He said, Ossie, he said, I'm gonna sell you this store. And he said, when you make payments, you make me a payment. When you can't make a payment, you just come tell me. And that's how Ossie Overton got in business. From right here on, just drop down, was one of the richest men that ever made a living in Double Springs, right at Wash Bunch. He opened his in about 1908, somewhere in that neighborhood. And he became a very rich man. He ended up with the cotton gin down here, where I'm gonna show you at. And he also built the building with the unusual blocks. He built it, and it was the U.S. Post Office. Back then, the normal man could contact them and do whatever they said, and he got the bid to build the post office, and the post office is right there. Now, in between them, I've got a picture of it, I may not can find it, but that's where my daddy first put his barber shop until he got this place in that the Henderson kept for many years. You know there's a building under this building right out here.
Yes.
Okay. At that time, the road was exactly where it is, about exactly where it is now. Well, right here was a little old shack of a building, and Squire Bonds, when he left here in about 1950, he had a little bitty, about the size of probably 12 by 16 or something like that, with a boiler, a clean fill on the back, had a boiler in it, and make steam. He's done cleaning and pressing right here.
Kin to Wash?
His name was B-A-U-G-H-N, and the other is Bonds. Wash is kin to the Dr. Bonds.
B-O-N-D-S.
B-O-N-D. Okay, now later on, Jay Bartlett got this entire thing, and that building was gone away with. He also had a house about where that house right there is. Oh yeah.
This is called Main Street. Was this road 195 here?
Yes.
And
195 was not down there.
When was it built?
There until about 39. Huh?
Was there a road there at all? Or
No.
this building?
No, nothing. That ain't down there where that road is. Wasn't there. This is it. This is the old Cheatham Road you're standing on right here.
And the Cheatham Road, it went to the courthouse and turned left and then go back like it does now?
This is exactly like it is right now. This is about 1907, 1908. This is the boiler or either that or the storage for water that they're carrying down there to make the steam-driven sawmill and the gin. And right over here on top is that, I showed you the picture of the school, the two schools, I think I did. Okay, right here, barely past this, or about even with it, the terrain was different, was a three-story house, a basement, the level with this, and the other side was deep, and then the third level. It was 3 stories. And just barely past it, about where the top of that trailer is and everything, which is not quite that deep at that time, was this.
There used to be an old house right in this area where John Swatcell lived back in the 50s.
That's right.
Right in there somewhere.
You're right. You're right.
I remember.
And then you had to go down a little road, go down to the Church of Christ.
Yeah.
And right yonder, but anyhow, you see over here, right here, you can see the old armory and the other buildings they built beside it. Okay, that's about where that schoolhouse was, built in 1908. And then the first one burned, and they replaced it with the second one. I don't know if that's what it was. That's where there's the first house. It and the one that built in Hayes, same thing. In the county, first high school. Top of the hill, Judge Curtis lived up there at the top of the hill, where every man, you can see the front and the rock and everything led to his house. But he was a judge here in town for many years. And he was the one that had the crippled daughter, Hazel Curtis, at Podio way back then. See a jump dumpster over there, the other side of the building supply place. That road actually went up to it, and there was a house up there and the school. And then, of course, later on, the army was put up there, and they built a different road.
So basically, you went down here right past the Texaco and just right up on top of the hill to the school.
You go right behind that dumpster. The road's still there, but they got it blocked. There was a verdict lived over on top of the hill, and we got some pictures of the town with the snow on it. And as it melts up.
And the Double Springs were just right down there.
No. Hit 'em. And see, they filled all that in over there. It didn't. It was just like this. Okay, I'm gonna say it probably right in front of that car that's on this end. Probably right in front of it, right under the. From the best they explain it to me.
Across the house. Across the
No.
road.
It's
Just right there.
I'm talking about they were right there.
I
It
see.
might have even been on this side of the road, but they keep saying they covered it up. But I think they would have actually started on this side of the road, and it was kind of a drop off like this. And see, they filled it in.
So was it artesian springs or like?
They just run out. They just run out of the ground, but it was fairly steep right here. See, it's all changed. See, and they filled that in. That was steep. Now if you walk to the end of that, you see how steep it is. Okay, that's all filled in, and they filled all the way back this side of the road to make it keep it from being so up and down. That's the reason you went around it. That's the reason the roads at that time did not go down the steep place. They come around it. Okay, that Winston Theater, the side of it would have touched that pole. And it would have went as far back as that building, the rusty building you can see back there. It would have went that far back, and would have went back about to that pole, other pole right there. But there were some houses here, and I forgot what they're listed on the thing is. Okay, the building that you can barely see that's still there, the white building, is the Heights cleaners and everything that he's talking about. That's it. Of course, none of this was here until later years.
And where was the jail?
Sitting right under the water tank. Water tank wasn't there then. But you remember, front and the back wasn't on the courthouse either.